Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third session of the day. I'm really excited about this one. It's called 300 Days Straight of Helping on Stack Overflow. Let's see what Konstantin Bifford has to say. He's a front-end consultant at Passionate People. And yeah, welcome him on stage. Hello, Konstantin. I'm not sure if we can hear you.
Yep, as always, the mute one, sorry.
Nice.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
So, hi, everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about Stack Overflow and pretty much introduce you the platform and give you my feedback on it. So, let's start by a quick introduction. So, I'm Konstantin. I'm a front-end consultant at Passionate People in Netherlands. I'm also a Nuxt.js ambassador. I'm helping daily on Stack Overflow, hence my talk today. And I'm also speaking in public places when like COVID is not in the middle. I'm into gaming. I love make keyboards and all, the nice high-tech stuff, pretty much. So what is this talk about? This is pretty much why I started helping on Stack Overflow. What I get from it, like pretty much give you some feedback on the whole experience, to share some good vibes, and also like to showcase the features that you can have here, because like as Google, you can use it casually or you can understand it a bit more in depth and be more efficient with it. And also, how does it relate to you? Because at the end, this talk is mainly sharing knowledge, and giving my experience. But I'll invite you at the end to just like see if you can relate to it. So, how did it start? At the beginning, I just saw this tweet from Debbie O'Brien, which was really into helping the next project a year ago, and who asked some help from the community to basically translate the documentation. And so this was published on the 27th of August. And so I deep dive there with somebody from the open source. And 2 months later, it was finally merged, and I was really glad because like it was fitting perfectly with the Oktoberfest, which is always better than just like writing and editing 2 lines of code and submitting it. So it was some real contribution to the next project. And also Debbie, helping Debbie is always nice because she were really into the ecosystem. Still. But yeah, it was nice. Why did I started helping others? Basically, I went into the web dev not so long ago. I finished my bootcamp at the end of 2017. And there was a really good mentality of sharing a buddy every day and working on several exercises. So it was a matter of, all right, let me help you there, or let's just work on this. And every day you would get somebody else. And it was really interesting, but when the bootcamp just get over, it was pretty annoying because we couldn't see each other. And that's why I just went back into helping people on Slack. Also, I'm pretty good at solving others' problem. So yeah, and I think that you can learn really a lot when you teach things or explain things to the others, because that proves that you can somehow analyze it more in depth in your own head, and that you know it from bottom to top, and that you can explain it in simple manners. Also, it broadens your knowledge because when somebody comes to you, he's not usually using the exact same stack, and he's maybe more aimed towards like a different approach. And if you get a lot of people coming to you with various questions, you're just basically we'll know every library that, for example, you maybe never heard of before. And also, when before I was having a lot of commute time, so rather than just waiting outside for, I don't know, like the bus, doing nothing else, I just thought that helping on Slack was pretty nice, because it's, in my opinion, the best way to spend some time here. Also, so this may be a known meme, but I always wanted a fancy coffin, so I think that if people are on Stack Overflow, they may get a more fancy one. So that's why. So my journey on Stack Overflow started when I get a new job in October 2020, and where I basically had the choice to get my whole stack. So since the project was very new and they needed a front end, it was the perfect opportunity for me to get like the mucho gracias stack. So the WordPress jQuery, hosting the whole thing on Raspberry Pi and deploying it like a pro with an FTP. So no, just kidding. Actually, I just went Next because, as you can guess, I like Next and the Vue ecosystem. So that's why. Why did I choose ESO particularly? For me, it was mainly because I was alone on the front-end team, that I felt the need of having to basically get some documentation or some posterity of, all right, what if I find this weird bug in this specific edge case, but I need to get back at it in like 3 months. For me, a Notion or some local documentation was not like the best way, and helping somebody and still being able to track those things were, for me, like the best. The best approach for me. Also, as Sean Wang said once, it's always better to learn in public and to share your knowledge. This way, people can benefit from your own learnings. So so basically just try to not help on private places, because you will not be able to share it. For example, here I helped quite a few people in channels related to Ruby and JavaScript, but at the end I just cannot share it because it's private. So that's pretty much all. Also, the year started, so for me it was interesting to get some kind of challenge. And a 360 days challenge for Stack Overflow is pretty much the best commitment, let's say. So as of today, I'm still running, so I'm just missing 1 month. Also, I have to admit that I'm not a GIS code beast, so I am not like a big pro in TypeScript or super heavy in testing, but I still wanted to help somehow. That's why I just wanted to find a way of, all right, let's help the community. Also, I was really frustrated because usually when you go to Stack Overflow and somebody helps you, or I don't know, like you find an interesting post, you just cannot upvote it yet, because you only have one reputation, and this was really bothering me. So this was one of my goals of just saying, all right, let me just upvote a useful answer and say thank you to the guy who helped me. ESO is also really good because it has a lot of gamification, meaning that it can be pretty addictive because of the reputation, the badges, the bounties. You have really a lot of stuff to do there, and it's pretty nice. It rewards you pretty well because you get benefits from your reputation. So I can probably show it. So let's say, for example, if you go to the privileges, you can see that at first you can just create posts and participate into wikis, but afterwards you can vote up people, and then you have access to flagging. You can create your bounties. So bounties, I'll show it later, but it's basically saying, all right, I really need some help, so please help me. And basically you're giving a reputation that you will, that could motivate people helping you. Then you can also vote down, you can reduce the ads. This one, reducing the ads was pretty nice also. And then you get more tooling towards moderation. So for example, creating tags, open closing votes. And like the final pinnacle is that you basically have access to some analytics from Stack Overflow. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also, a quick explanation on the reputation. Basically, the reputation on Stack Overflow is based on, all right, if you do give a good answer, or if you write a good question, you just can get voted, and then you win like 10 reputation. If you get your answer accepted, you get 15. And so this is basically like the whole thing. So for example, here you can see that today I just got like some votes from random answers that I get. You also like get some pretty nice badges. So badges are like really interesting also, because usually it's some kind of small challenges that you can just like dedicate a bit of time, and yeah, pretty nice. And also, I'll show probably the rest after. So let's continue on my journey here. So at first I started answering random questions like Java, JavaScript, and like pretty much everything that I saw. But I wasn't really good at it. So pretty quickly I focused on Vue or JS related questions. And so I just like did my best there. It was nice because you get a lot of, as I said, a lot of various questions, and you can use some tools like Code Sandbox, which will help you explaining things a bit better. But the issue with helping with Vue questions is also that I get a lot of questions about like, I have this like super strange Vuetify configuration. Can you help me on it? And so usually you do waste a lot of time configuring the whole thing and just trying to understand what is happening, even if the library is not really interesting, because at that point I was more focused on Tailwind. So that's why helping on Vuetify was not like really thrilling for me. Also, basically, usually when I was helping, I had my directory of just like, as you can see from the start of the year, creating a repo and then pushing it to show some code and how it works. So, yep. Then in April, I focused more heavily on Next and Atinux. So the co-founder of Next came to me and said me, "Hey man, you're a beast. Like, you're doing some awesome job." I was like, all right. So it just motivated me a bit more to work on this. And also, as I said, like bounties are pretty interesting. It's always rewarding because you get some kind of like competition between every people. Also, I help people on just monitoring the platform and helping the whole website being more clean by editing, flagging, voting, and reviewing questions. Actually, I'm trying to become the #1 answerer on next specific questions. Let's say that it be done in like few days. But I can show pretty much how reviews work. So this is something that you get from a specific point, but let's say that you'll get some various queues where you can help, for example, all right, is it like the first time that somebody is asking a question? Is it like in the bad place of the website? And so, for example, here, you can see like questions that you can just like say, all right, this is viable, this can be answered, or like this need more info. On the opposite, you can also say, all right, this question was heavily edited and we got more feedback on it, so please reopen it. So it's pretty interesting because you get like various reviews, queues, and you can basically help there a bit, daily with a limit. So yeah. And also what is nice is that you can get some custom filters. So let's say that here, when I go to the homepage on the right, I do get my usual stuff. So let's say if I want to check the questions related to CSS, SVG, or vector graphics, or like just Nux, Nux3, and so on, or even bounties, it's something that you can do. Bounties are pretty much, so as I said, like questions where people say, all right, let's have more questions. Let's give some reputation for more attention for my question. And so they usually came with a bigger chunk of code, and then you do your best to try to help this. And this is really interesting in my opinion, because it motivates you even more, because yeah, you get more people attracted to it. So yeah. So let's continue. So the benefits of it, as I said, like you're helping the community, so it's always nice to be part of the actual thing. People are super nice with you and they meet you like on other places, like I don't know, Discord. I mean, I didn't met anybody in real life yet. That will be interesting. But yeah, I mean, like on Discord, on when they ask another question and they just got answered by yourself, so pretty nice. By the way, I didn't said it at the beginning, but this talk is hosted already at weare21 kisu.io. Sorry. Also, it can help you get some career opportunities, of course. Yeah. Then you can get some feedback directly to the core team or the maintainers. So, for example, if there is a spike of questions related to a specific package, you can just say, all right, maybe we need to focus more on this part because a lot of people are struggling with this. And your questions also get better because you're forced to somehow explain things with a minimal amount of characters, of not just pasting a link and trying to really give some in-depth answers. So this is really, really great. Also, as I said, you can understand the platform better. For example, I really didn't know before, but for example, if you go and like you write next, so this will be a tag, and then you can look like, I don't know, for SVG, and so this will be swapped to the next tag specifically. Also, there are really nice things. For example, here, this is my profile, and so if I'm looking for a dynamic import, I can just type it, and this will be related to my questions, my answers on specific questions with the related thing. So this is why when I told you, all right, it can help you build some kind of documentation or go back to it, this is exactly this, because for example, when I do forget something or I need to reference it in another question, I can just get my thing and find where it was mentioned. And this is really useful for myself. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, I do have this link, this resource, and this is like crystal clear. So yeah, this is my, the one thing that I found really useful. Also, I discovered that there are other places than Stack Overflow and that I really didn't know before. Because Stack Overflow is basically the most well-known Stack exchange, but there are a lot of more. For example, if you are into Ubuntu, or if you are trying to get some specific I don't know, like setup with your Linux. Usually you have super user. You have also like, I'm not sure where this is, but you have also code reviews. You have Stack Exchanges based on traveling, on languages, learning English. And this is like super useful. So when I discovered it, I just like joined a bunch of them, and it was pretty nice. So these are not mine, but yeah. Also, it's pretty rewarding, as I said you, because like of the reputation. When you come back after your night and you see like plus 265 points, it's like, not bad. There are also, I mean, of course, some cons. So for example, like the mobile version of the website is really bad, meaning that you just cannot use it on mobile. I mean, you can somehow browse it, but yeah, you just need to rely on the desktop. And also, just don't even try to get an answer here, because like you will not be able to yeah to just write code and indent it properly. Also, it can be pretty intimidating to ask your questions here, because there are some rules that you need to respect. For example, let's say a typical journey of mine is going on the website, going into the next. And then we can see that, for example, here we have somebody which asks how to debug something, but like there is no real context and there is no effort on his side on like what did he try of providing a useful example. So yeah, those kind of questions are usually not really liked by the platform. That's why like usually they are closed for specific reasons. And the reasons here sometimes can be pretty strange at first. For example, if it's a duplicate or if it's just opinion-based, because for example, you cannot go into SO and ask, all right, do you recommend grade sum next, or I don't know, Vitesse? And because like this will be based on just like pure opinions. Also, you cannot get like let's say tutorials of how can we do this thing. And so this is at first pretty strange, but yeah, I guess that you get used to it. And the main point is basically saying that you need to provide some kind of effort of saying, all right, this is what I've tried, this is what is not working, here is my error. So yeah, for example, I don't know, like what did I check recently? Yeah, for example, here, when somebody comes and he gives some links and he just explains his issue, you can get a pretty good scope of what is really happening. Yeah. Also, one of the cool things is that when you get like 2,000 reputation, you can just edit any question, for example, to provide some better formatting, because here the code is highlighted, which is not like the default behavior. Some people just come with code like with really random indentation, so like you can't read it. I mean, when it's ever like indented. So yeah, so this is pretty useful because you can just like clean the code and make it more straightforward and more clean. So yep. But basically, yeah, my journey here is just like checking if there are new questions here and closing the questions that are not good enough, asking for details when like the question is, I mean, when the user just don't know like what to provide you. And one thing is that Stack Overflow is usually saying you, all right, this guy has 1 of reputation, so he's probably new. Please be gentle with him. Like, don't vote him to hell. And I tend to just don't be too hard on newcomers. And the platform itself is usually better in the past years, from what I've heard, because yeah, yeah, it's always a bit sad to get your question downvoted to hell. So yeah. What else can I say? Also you have your inbox. So basically, for when somebody answered you or mentioned you, to give more info. Yeah. Also, you need to somehow just let your ego at the door, because, for example, when you ask your question, like it just get closed, or even worse, like when you find somebody with an issue and you know what his issue is, but I mean, so you're like, all right, this is simple, just check this link, and like your question will be closed, I mean, even deleted, and you will not be able to know even why, because you cannot reach for people on Stack Overflow. I mean, if they have their contact, so like an email address, or like in their profile. So for example, on mine, if you go to the profile, you can see that I laid some links, but usually if you go to any random guy, you will just get nothing, and you cannot message them. You also cannot message directly an admin. So this was pretty strange for me. So yeah, but at the end, it's for the best, because if you just write a question saying, all right, your question is here, and you just link, you drop a random link, I mean, a link related, it will not be the most useful one. As I said before, it requires you to construct a better answer, to give more feedback, and to also try to understand maybe what can be hard to understand for the guy who asked the question. Also, you can have some really mean people. I mean, this happened only once to me, but I got one guy one day who was pretty angry, because he was like, "Hey man, yo, I need to fix my code, like fast, so what's the issue here?" Like the code was not readable, there was no enough context, and it was pretty poorly formatted. That's why I just took the liberty of editing his question with links and proper punctuation and so on. And he sent me like, "Hey, fuck face, just like don't touch my code." I was like, okay. Also, it can be a bit time consuming. So for example, when you're just like getting out of the bed and you see that you have 40 notifications, it's a bit crazy. It can be pretty repetitive also when you're having tasks, like, as I said, reviews, or usually asking the same questions of, can you provide me this file or your config? Or yeah. Also, I had one weird question one day, which was based on, all right, somebody asking some help about a drop shipping website. I didn't get it at first. So this is the question that I formatted, but we get like an exchange of 15 messages just to try to figure out what his issue was. And at the end, the guy just like deleted his question and went out. And so, yeah, this is not like super cool, because you can invest a lot of time into it. So let's say I took pretty much 2 hours to write a whole detailed answer of what was not working and what could be improved. And the guy just left. So here the question is open back because an admin went there. But another benefit that you can get from your reputation is that you can just see the deleted questions. So yeah, it's pretty. Sometimes you get some questions like those, and you don't really decide which one. So usually you tend to just like answer all of them and trying to be cool. But yeah, it's not like always easy. Speaking of stats, so in December 2021, I mean December 2020, I fell here. Yeah, I had 74 reputation. Now I'm around 70K. And so doing well. I did pretty much 1,400 edits on posts, so to basically improve them, give more context. I I raised some flags also. So flags are for more important things. So for example, if somebody is mean, or if there is, I don't know, like racism or some abuse, or just like if there is a comment that is not useful anymore, you can just say, all right, can you please remove this comment? Because, for example, the answer will be already given. So to just not spread the information, you usually remove those. And then I get some votes. So this is like pretty much 900 answers that I gave. So 662 only related to Next, and I get positive of it because I didn't say it, but I more focused on helping people daily. So that means that I will not reach out for popular questions because you usually have, I don't know, like how do you format my code, or with Prettier, or that kind of stuff. And this is like cool because this is popular, but I just wanted to help as much people as I could every day to then reference their questions to other ones if they are coming. This is why I get pretty much 2 upvotes per day, every day. Also I get a lot of super positive feedback from a lot of people who are always like really, really happy, and who reach me upon like email or Discord, even LinkedIn, and who are always like, damn, thanks, sir, it's really good, and perfect. And it's pretty heartwarming, so that's why I feel that it's a good thing to share. So what about you? After this, I'm just wondering, like, if you want to help the community, because and if you want, how can you proceed, and where can you just ask? And I'll say that first, you can create content. So you can just write documentation, translate documentation, make YouTube videos, write some blog posts. You can also, of course, like just help the core team with your coding skills. So that means, I don't know, like fixing issues brought by, I don't know, like GitHub issues. You can also just speak about your own favorite tool everywhere. I mean, maybe not everywhere, but you see what I mean. Also, help on public places, as I said, so Stack Overflow, GitHub issues, Meetup, Reddit, all of those places will be useful at some point for everybody. You can also just report bugs. So, for example, if you find a bug in the latest release of Next, or like, you can just say, all right, this is my issue, and can you help me solve it? And with reproduction, it will greatly help the maintainers. And a lot of other stuff that basically, like, I cannot just list everything, but that's pretty much all the ways that you can contribute yourself. And that so this is the end of my talk. Thanks for listening. And as I said, if you want to reach me, my DMs are open on Twitter. And if you want to get some advice or some tips on how to contribute to Vue, or I guess pretty any ecosystem, just reach upon me, and I'll try to do my best to help you. Thanks.
So thank you very much, Konstantin. It was a really great speech. Also, thank you very much for your work, because I know how many times Stack Overflow saved my life. So thank you, and people like you that do these things. We have few questions. Let's start with the first one. Lawrence asks, how much time do you spend on Stack Overflow per day? And what does your employer think of this?
It depends. Let's say that you can spend, I don't know, like 1, 2 hours, or you can spend 3, 4. I mean, it really depends of the amount of questions that you get. And mainly, my employer wasn't against it, mostly because he wasn't aware of it. So, but I mean, I still achieved to get my daily job done and to provide this kind of help. I know that a lot of companies are totally okay with you helping the community because it. I mean, you'll get some good stuff out of it, even if
Of
you're
course.
not just generating money. And as you say, like just being part of those guys who are the best and who are helping you, and just it's like the reward is just like here. But yeah, mainly I can spend like 2 or 3 hours per day on the afternoon because most of the questions are still based on the afternoon in the European time zone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And also, if you give to the community, it always comes back. So,
Yep.
then Felix asks, does a high amount of points directly equate to a user being more knowledgeable or reputable? Or is it that assumption, or is that assumption dangerous to make? So, what do you think?
Yeah. Usually, I tend to say that I know a wide variety of things on Stack Overflow. I'm not like as good as somebody who is working on the core itself. But let's say that if I don't know something, I will still be able to redirect the people to the correct place. So yeah, usually people with a big reputation amount is really knowledgeable. There are like 3 or 4 people who are excellent at what they are doing, and like I was just enjoying being aside with them because you learn new advanced patterns thanks to them.
Yeah.
And essentially, if some question is bad, other people will see it and will downvote it for good reasons, and then yep, you will just like delete it at the end. So yeah, it's, let's say, 80% viable, and sometimes there is just like some popular question or answer that you can get, but usually there are some tags, so your reputation is tied to a specific topic. So for example, in my case, it's Next. So when I say that I have 700 points on Next, I know my stuff there somehow. But for example, if I'm just reaching upon I don't know, a Rust question, the people will still see my reputation, but since I'll have 0 points in Rust, there may be apply more doubt on my knowledge there. So that's why you
Yeah.
can just double check if the people is knowledgeable in the specific topic. Yeah.
For sure. Then Alexander asks when you would refrain from asking a question on Stack Overflow and instead on other platforms like GitHub or Discord, for example.
At the end, if your question is not viable on Stack Overflow, it is not viable on GitHub or Discord, mainly because it will be closed there if it's lacking context or info. So if you don't provide it there, it will not be available on other places. And also Discord is a bit more messy if you want like to get your thing structured, because I mean now we have threads, but it's not like as powerful, and it can still be
Yeah.
pretty messy if there are 5 people talking about different stuff. So yeah, let's say that GitHub discussions or issues are great, but as always, you'll need to make a search before to post it, and not like just spam the maintainers, because I guess that it creates a decent amount of overload. So yeah, basically post it on any place, but try to get the minimal effort done when
Yeah.
you're asking. So, but at the end, like if you just don't know, but you still like show what you've tried, and the people will not be mean towards you if you just, I don't know, like use Next3 in beta mode and you don't know how it works, but you did your best. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's combine two questions into one for the last one. So Jason is asking, can you talk more about the career opportunity, if any, from being active participant on Stack Overflow? And then I would say it can be combined. Cameron is asking, what do you enjoy about participating on Stack Overflow?
So on the career side, let's say that I saw some companies that were asking you for your Stack Overflow profile on some interviews. So this is like great if you show them that you're the best in the actual role that you're aiming at. Also, I mean, I had a few people who really enjoyed my help and who reached up on me saying, asking, all right, man, you're really good. If one day you're looking for a job, just ask me and I'll find something for you. So, and also there is the way that basically here I'm helping Next, but if you like a product, you can probably, I don't know, like work for Cloudinary or Firebase, and then Firebase may just like reach upon you and say, all right, do you want to become an ambassador, or do you want just to work for us? And this is like a good entry point. And as for like what do I enjoy the most, I'd say that just like helping people there and seeing that like there is somebody really lost and like he's desperate, he's on an issue for, I don't know, like 4 days already, and he's struggling, and you just come here and say, all right, did you just check this one? And like, oh yeah, that's all. And he's like super happy, and then I mean this makes my day. And so usually people are really grateful. Some people come and answer you like 4 months later saying,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, thanks. And I'm like, oh man, this question is from March, I mean February. I already forgot what this is about. But at least, yeah, you feel that you are contributed somehow to the whole thing. And if you check my biggest answers, those are pretty much into quality of life, or good practices, or how to get tooling, or just like the most common and hard to debug issues. So I guess that if the documentation is lacking on some specific points, you can feel complementary to this one, and you get more coverage over the whole internet. So that way it's easier to find. So this is like really cool for me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you don't only help the person that asked the question, but also like people that come
Yeah.
4 months after.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
usually you have people who come back and like you already helped them like 5 or 6 times. So yeah, there are uh, um, some yeah, I forgot the name
Yeah,
in
you're
English.
probably
Sorry.
their superhero or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get a card, so each time he comes, you just like stamp his cards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, like for coffee shops.
Yep, exactly.
Great. Thank you very much, Konstantin. It was a really great session. I think also our audience really enjoyed it. You guys feel free to follow Konstantin on all of his socials, and of course, he probably will help you one day. Yeah, we will continue with our program really soon. So, yeah, stay tuned and see you later.
Okay. Thanks for having me. Have a good
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
UiPath Studio. One tool, one installer. 3 ways to automate for every kind of developer. UiPath Studio is intuitive and has many simple templates to get you started quickly. There's detailed documentation and free training with UiPath Academy. And because they are all on the same product, you can share your automations and collaborate on more complex projects, enabling good ideas to flow throughout the company. Get started with Studio today.
When you're building an application, there's a lot of pressure to keep security vulnerabilities out of your code. But no matter how skilled you are, between your own code, dependencies, and configurations, you can't catch them all on your own. But that's why Sneak's here. We're the secure development platform that can extend the security reach of every developer. With Sneak, you don't have to handle security vulnerabilities on your own. Sneak. Develop fast. Stay secure.